But this is the story I really want to share with you. You don't see me there. I don't ever want to be there again. This was a reminder for me, a picture that was taken to remind me what limitation feels like. This was in Lisbon, Portugal. I was out there doing missionary work, and I was playing basketball with the locals. And I went up and I dunked and came horizontal into the rim, and then fell 10 feet onto the back of my head, almost completely herniating 2 discs in my neck and 1 in my lumbar spine, putting so much pressure on my nervous system, it shut down communication for movement. I was in a state they refer to as paresis, similar to paralysis, but no severing of the spinal cord. I was now immobile. The difference is I could feel one thing: pain throughout my entire body, 24/7. Now, it's easy, really easy, to let limitation get to you and to consume you. I became very negative. I started to hate everyone and everything and every reason why I was there and what happened, and I'd replay it again and again. Why me? Why me? This is where I'm at now. I'd given up on everything. I'm going to be in the bed for the rest of my life. Then one day, I woke up, and I changed my mindset. Now, the power of the mind is a very, very interesting thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it here in a second. The power of the mind is very interesting. Most of my life by doctors I've been referred to as a scientific anomaly because to this day when they look at my medical records, they go, there's no way you should be walking, let alone doing what you're doing. You should be in a chair or a bed somewhere. To this day. I have the neck and spine essentially of a 70-year-old man. How do I go from this to this? Well, through my pain, suffering, or otherwise, my adversity, I've learned a way to teach what I've learned to others to better their lives so that you don't have to go through what I went through in order to understand how it works or how it can benefit you. And I call it the XWOD. The hips are our powerhouse. When we start to decline in our function of our hips, physical quality of life declines too. Once you're in a chair, it's very difficult to come back from that spot. So my goal is to make sure that in the next 20, 30, 40 plus years, that you're able to do what you're doing now. Maybe not at the same intensity, but that you're able to prolong it. I don't know about you, but for myself, when I'm older, I want to be able to interact with my grandchildren. I want to be able to play sports and interact with them and do the things that they're doing instead of watch it from afar. So I created something that's referred to as the whiteboard mindset. This is a really interesting thing, and I'll give you a little bit of a tease. But what it's about is teaching you how to get out of your mind. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. If you were paying attention to what I was doing prior to as you all are clapping, I was dropping my head and breathing in and out nice and easy. It's a 3-step process. And what that does is it clears my head. So what it allows me to do is to not see limitation, but rather to see opportunity. Oftentimes in life, we see limiting factors. We see what's limiting us. We see what's keeping us from our goals or what we want to do. And one of the mindsets that I've started to adapt for myself ever since being in that bed is that regardless of what happens, that doesn't matter. What does matter is what you do in that moment. So rather than seeing limitation, I only see opportunity.